Coming to you live from the Creaky Tiki studio somewhere on the shipwrecked island of Misfit Podcast, we welcome you to Such Good Shoot, the podcast where we talk about anything and everything in the world of wrestling. First on our panel tonight, from Vermont, locked in a boiler room, brawling with good old Mick Foley, we have Isaac!
Hello, everyone.
And in the other corner, from Ohio, in her house, surrounded by a Punjabi prison, battling with not gender, but the great Kali, we have Shane.
That's a match you could win.
Yeah, dude. I would have a chance. I don't know if these stubby legs would be able to reach fast enough, but...
Although he might actually legitimately kill you like you did that other wrestler.
And finally, in a shed somewhere in the swamp of North Carolina, about to get his head ripped off by the Eater of Worlds, Bray Wyatt, I'm your host, Dozer. Welcome to the show. Let's get it on.
Ding, ding, ding. Remember, we have the sound effects now.
Yeah, but we don't. Ding, ding, ding. So,
Cat, it's too early for that shit, Cat.
So, as Isaac deals with his pussy problem down there, I heard Shane today had a great interaction at work with a wonderful wrestling fan that he just wants to tell us all about.
Yeah, so I won't mention my place of employment, but I deal with a lot of customers every day. Every once in a while, somebody will come in with like a professional wrestling t-shirt, and sometimes it'll be a kid with like a John Cena shirt, and I'm like, hell yeah, high five, dude. I love John Cena. And then and sometimes it'll be like an older dude with like a Hulk Hogan shirt on. I'm like, I'm not talking to this dude about wrestling. But every once in a while, somebody like around all of our ages will come in with like a cool t-shirt. And I'll be like, hell yeah, that's awesome. Let's talk. This dude that came in today, though, might have been a little questionable about. I was already having a bad day. And he comes in, and I don't mean to offend dorks, because I am one, but he was just kind of real dorky looking. And he had a SmackDown is the house that AJ Styles built t-shirt on. And yeah, so I was like, I'm not talking to this dude about wrestling. Like, I'm already mad. He's probably going to piss me off even more. Like, so I'm good. So he comes up to cash out, and I'm cashing him out or whatever. And his phone goes off in his pocket. And it's, if you can smell, and he just like pulls out his phone, clicks, and then just puts it back. And I was like, dude, you just have like a rock soundboard in your pocket? He goes, no, that's my ringtone. And I was like, oh, all right, man. I mean, that's all right. I don't know if I'd do that, but at least everyone knows what, really what you're about.
Yeah.
Right?
And what he's cooking, man.
Yeah. The Rock's cooking. But anyways, yeah, so I'm like kind of talking about wrestling. I'm like, yeah, what have you thought recently? Like, have you been watching AEW? Like, New Japan? Like, have you caught any of that stuff? He's like, oh, no, man, I haven't watched anything since WrestleMania. And I was like, I don't blame you.
Yeah, I don't either.
But, I was like, you should really check out AEW. I was like, even if you don't want to pay for anything, I was like, AEW has like a really good, just like a really good show every week. And he's like, yeah, man, sounds good. My favorite wrestler is The Undertaker. And I was like, cool, man. You got the AJ Styles shirt on, but the Undertaker.
The Rock ringtone.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't.
You're not gonna get the dead man shit.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, man. I'm like, that's cool. I'm like, I was like, Edge is my favorite. Oh, pretty bad, yeah, right?
Oh God, Four Loko, man. Oh
yeah.
Why did I buy two?
I don't know why you bought one.
Yeah, we're sponsored by Four Loko today, everybody. So
God damn it,
go out, buy some Four Loko, and remember the good times when they had fucking amphetamines in them.
Look, the theme of the show tonight is bad gimmicks. Well, good gimmicks, bad gimmicks. just gimmicks in general. Isaac's drinking a shitty gimmick beer.
Yeah,
I'm smoking a shitty gimmick cigar. Shane is doing the shitty gimmick and shaved his mustache. So we're all here. We're all going to talk gimmick matches. And before we talk about them, we're going to tell you about what prompted this. As you know, we spun the wheel of random bullshit, and it landed on the Lethal Lottery. And we tried to watch this pay-per-view. I made it about 3/4 of the way through. Isaac finished it. Shane made it about 30 minutes before.
Literally
30 minutes, 5 seconds.
Yeah. Before he realized the true bullshit that this pay-per-view was. And not just the pay-per-view itself, but the concept and execution of it. So just to lay it out, the way this shitty-ass pay-per-view from the 90s went, and they did 4 of these fuckers.
This is 91, too.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
They did this thing 4 times. They took 40 wrestlers. And then they had random fucking tag team matches where they pulled names out of a hat, out of a big bingo thing with Eric Bischoff and Missy Hyatt.
They had Magnum TA pull the name out. Missy Hyatt took the envelope.
Magnum TA?
Opened it. And then handed the name to Bischoff, who read it. It was even the fucking drawing of the names was convoluted in this. So you just have like these random tag matches, and that led to one good thing is that like you had these guys who were already established tag teams getting broken up and fighting against each other, and it led to probably like the only really good moment of the night, which is like when
I just want to stop you for 1 second. Phil, that was our second episode that we did Capital Punishment.
We did Capital Punishment. Yeah, it was great. So
I at least had fun with that one.
Yeah, that one was fun. So, but this led to a moment in the pay-per-view where some, I guess it was Cactus Jack and Abdullah the Butcher were partners at that time. This is around the same time, and we'll probably get into this match later, where he accidentally electrocutes Abdullah the Butcher, who's actually his partner. But so in this match, yeah, exactly. So they were tag team partners, and so when Mankind gets chosen or Cactus Jack gets chosen, and then Abdullah the Butcher isn't his tag team partner, he just spends pretty much the whole match beating the shit out of the dude who was Mankind's partner, Foley's partner. I don't even remember who the guy was. It was like Captain Achievement or some shit like that. It was a terrible.
We were making a lot of fun of him, but
God, Abdullah was just fucking crazy, just beating the shit out of people. He beat up his own tag team partner Sting, but oh god, it was so convoluted, the whole thing. Whoever won the tag team match, the team got to go into a battle royale style fight. But there were 2 rings next to each other, and you had to be thrown from one ring into the other ring, right? Over the top, or not even over the top rope, just in. Sorry, you didn't even have to go over the top. You just go into the other ring. And then once you were in that ring, if you got thrown out of that ring over the top rope, you were eliminated. And
what
it was
if you were
last
thrown
man
over
standing.
the top rope back into the first ring?
Do they get into that?
I have no idea. I didn't make.
I think that like once you're in that ring, like if you get thrown out onto the ground, you're eliminated. But literally, like the first 7 minutes of the actual battle royal is like Jim Ross and Schiavone trying to explain the rules. Still, like, well, now remember you have to go into the ring, so going over the top rope doesn't mean anything here. And it was just like, oh my god, like they must have tried to explain the rules of the whole pay-per-view at least like a dozen times throughout it, and I still had to go back and rewatch the beginning like 5 times, and I still didn't get it. I was like, there are 20 matches, like 10. How many fucking matches are there?
To be fair, Isaac, I figured out what was actually happening, and I didn't end up watching the rest of it. So
yeah. But Sting wins,
and
so that's fun.
I'm just going to quickly read through this before we get into the bulk of our program of shitty gimmick matches. Here are the matches from this piece of shit. Let me make sure I have the right one.
Okay, and here's the thing. Before you even start, don't judge this fucking pay-per-view. Please do not judge this pay-per-view by the contents of its character. Okay, the people in this pay-per-view, the sum of its total is so much better than the actual product. So you're going to go through some names, and you're going to actually be blown away by some of the names who are in these matches and who they faced and the tag teams that are put together, and still somehow managed to be one of the worst pay-per-views I've ever seen in my entire life.
Okay, so I'm going to phrase this. I'm going to have the tag team that won, then the tag team that lost, the tag team that won. We'll all be in the Battle Royal. I am not going to rename all those fuckers. So, we have Marcus Bagwell and Jimmy Jam Garvin defeating Michael Hayes and Tracy Smothers.
And that was little baby fucking Buff Bagwell.
Yeah. That was still Marcus, dude.
Yes.
Okay. Then we have Steve Austin and Rick Rude defeating Van Hammer and Big Josh.
Big Josh.
Real quick, Dozer, do you know who Big Josh was?
Yeah, that would be Doink the Clown.
Yep. I blew Isaac's mind with that.
It did. It blew my mind. I was like, no way. But yeah, true facts.
Okay. Then we have Dustin Rhodes and, as it's written here, Richard Morton.
Yeah, and that's what they called him the whole night, too. No joke. They called him Richard Morton, and it fucking irritated the hell out of me.
Defeating Larry Zbyszko and El Gigante.
Oh, my God, dude.
Right.
Can I talk about that for like 35, 40 seconds? So it's going to be quick because it's El Gigante, and I just want to make fun of that guy. I mean, the only reason that I think Khali is a worse wrestler than him is because they fucking had Khali beat Undertaker for the title. And so I feel like it was a bigger like shit stain on wrestling business as a whole. But El Gigante was trash. Not only did he like not have a clue as to what was going on, but at the end of the match, he was just trying to shake everybody's hand after he like immediately like they had just lost. He was standing in the ring. He could have broken up the pinfall. And instead, he's trying to shake the guy's hand to be like, "Hey, good match, man."
Okay, yeah. And was he a heel or face?
He was face.
Okay, so
he was face, and his gimmick was that he was very tall, and that he.
I thought he was going to be short.
Yeah, no. His gimmick was mostly that he was tall, but that he also really was like very, very respectful of people. So he always wanted to shake your hand, but he also didn't understand any English. So he's basically dumb. Like Zbyszko just yelled at him the whole time, being like, "You got to punch him. You got to punch him." And he's like, "I don't understand. I do not get that."
I'm cutting you off to keep this part short. 4, we have Bill Kazmaier and Jushin Thunder Liger defeating Diamond Dallas Page. And Mike Graham.
And that was actually a pretty good match for what was on the pay-per-view. But then it
was
also had Liger
DDP
and DDP.
I was going to say, was it mostly Liger and DDP?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it, yeah.
But
I mean, yeah, those guys are just great.
Yeah.
The halfway point of these tag matches, we have Lex Luger and Arn Anderson defeating, as written here, Terrence Taylor and the Z-Man.
Oh, the fucking Z-Man.
I think they called him Terry in the match, but yeah, Terrence Taylor. What the fuck?
Okay, for match 6, we have Ricky Steamboat and Todd Champion defeating Cactus Jack and Buddy Lee Parker.
Buddy Lee Parker, yeah. That was when Buddy Lee Parker got the shit beat out of him. He got his head slammed into a locker, broom broken over his back, kendo stick to the head multiple times, and he spent the whole match like death crawling to the ring before he ended up fucking losing the match.
And that shit was awesome.
It was great.
Him come out from the back like a zombie, and he's just. And he's like,
and then out goes Abdullah again.
Oh yeah,
beats the shit out of him, dude. So good.
And then he proceeds to crawl down the ramp, and he like crawls into the first ring, and then does like the slowest gator rolls you've ever seen. Stands up, and then Mick Foley looks at him and goes,
Forever.
"It's your turn, bud." Slaps him and then hip tosses him over the rope and into the ring, and then he just loses.
Yes, and it had like the best moment of the night, which was a close up on Foley, like right as
Oh,
Abdullah
yeah.
first starts beating the shit out of his partner, like as he's announced. There's like a close up of Mick Foley in between the two rings, looking up the ramp, and he's just, "Where's my partner?" And it's just so perfect, Foley. I just love him. But oh god, the whole thing was a mess.
Oh, yeah. As we get to match 7 in this marathon of tag matches, I swear to God, Teddy Long jizzed all over this thing.
Tag team, baby.
We have Sting and Abdullah the Butcher defeating Flying Brian Pillman and Bobby Eaton.
Yep.
So I want to talk about
with Abdullah beating the shit out of Sting too.
Yeah, I was gonna say I want to talk about the beginning real quick because they have this great moment where first partner Sting and the crowd's like, "Yay, it's Sting!" and he big old baby face fist bump and he goes running and his partner Abdullah the Butcher and then Abdullah goes.
He had the biggest smile.
And then he goes, and then he just starts running, and you just see him fucking run his ass down the ramp, just smiling. He's so happy. He stands up on the apron and then just starts beating the shit out of Sting with the broom handle.
Yeah, he's even like, it's like, "I want to shake your hand.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to be your partner," and then he just beats the hell out of him.
Dude, and he looked like the biggest gigantic murderous 3-year-old who's happy to see his friend you've ever seen. That was his facial expression.
It was amazing. Really a great moment.
Okay, and then we have Big Van Vader and Mr. Hughes defeating Rick Steiner and the Night Stalker.
Rest in peace, Mr. Hughes.
Yep. But another on paper match that should have been really good and was pretty boring.
Yep. And then match 9. We're getting to the end of this. We have Scott Steiner and Firebreaker Chip defeating Arachnaman and Johnny B. Bad.
Who is marvelous Mark Marrow dressed up like
man.
Little Richard.
I have to go and I'm gonna go watch that after this.
I'm telling you, it's one of these so bad it's good kind of things. But it's not that good.
Specifically.
Okay. And then finally, at the end of the tag matches from hell, we have Ron Simmons and Tommy Rich defeating the Forgotten Steve Armstrong and PN News.
How do you fuck that one up that bad?
Incredible. You make it the last of 10 tag matches and nobody gives a shit.
Even
anymore.
Teddy Long looks at this pay-per-view and goes, "That's too many random tag matches.
That's too many tags." Okay, you had me at 5.
He would have booked the whole show against each other in a 20-on-20 tag team elimination match.
But you know, that's the thing. Not only is it 10 random fucking tag matches, they're all random fucking partners. It's not even good tag team wrestling most of the time.
Yeah, that's the thing is they really well, you don't have tag moves and shit, and there's no there's no sense of flow.
And then finally there was a shitty battle royal. Sting finally threw over Lex Luger and he won.
It was a really shitty battle royal. Yeah. And we're done. I mean, that was a terrible pay-per-view. It doesn't deserve a star. It was really that bad.
Yeah, it's not going on the power board whenever I get around to putting that piece of shit up. That's not happening. This is in our naughty bucket. It's
Backlash
a naughty bucket.
Didn't even end up in the naughty bucket.
Yeah.
And it really should have.
This was so bad, we had to create a concept for this pay-per-view to go in.
Yes, which is shitty gimmicks.
But,
gimmick matches.
But as we talk about shitty gimmick matches, I'm going to start us off here. I'm going to start with what is a mostly good gimmick matches, Bastard Child. And that is the Lethal Lockdown match. It is the bastard child of a War Games match, with the added horribleness of being in the 6-sided ring and not having enough space for all 400 people in the match.
Yeah.
And then you have all the weapons.
Yeah, the weapons come down. It's the bastard child. It's convoluted. You can't tell what the hell's going on in it. It's terrible.
And you know what's crazy? As bad as that is, WWE did it and managed to do it even worse and make it look even more awkward and boring when he did it with Dean Ambrose and Jericho.
Or the Extreme Elimination Chamber, if you want to go back to fake ECW days. That being said, I think it was the last War Games match between Team Ciampa and Undisputed Era. They brought weapons into that match, and it was fucking incredible. That being said,
they did a good job with it.
Yeah, I mean, but the only reason why it works so well is because nobody else did that, really, and then they did it, so it meant something, and they're all just really incredible. So,
well, you also have to have tag teams involved when you're doing that. I feel like, because if you have just two opponents, maybe three, and you have like the dead time of you trying to get the goddamn weapons off the cage and climbing to get them, it just slows the match down. But when you have tag teams in there and you have one person going and getting weapons, another one doing shit in the ring, you can have different layers to the match and not have it be as boring.
I can agree with that. You have to keep something always going in these matches, because at the end of the day, you're going to look at the fact that if you would sit a camera and just watch the whole ring instead of having the camera cuts, in a lot of these multi-man matches, 9/10 of the match is people just going.
Yeah. It's a lot of selling. Yeah. A lot of selling
bullshit moves.
Yep.
But I don't know where to go from that, so I'm going to let Isaac take it.
All right, so we're going to start out, I guess we're going to talk worst gimmick matches. I think we'll end on a bit of a high note at the end, towards the end, and we'll talk about some of our favorite gimmick matches later. But I've got a few, because we got some time to kill, because we've already gotten the pay-per-view out of the way. So I'm going to start out with a gimmick match that, like, on paper sounds really good.
Most of them sound good on paper.
Well, some of them. I got ones that don't sound good on paper too on this list. But it's a tables match, just like the basic tables match. I don't know, dude. When I want to watch a tables match, I want to see people being put through tables the whole time. You know what I mean? And so to have like the big spot of going through a table be how the match ends, it's like almost anticlimactic, you know what I mean? Like you're finally getting to that, then it's like it's all over. And I don't know, like they had some good ones, a few good ones here and there, but for the most part, like I just have never found them that interesting, because like I love tables. I love seeing people go through tables. Like I think like a TLC match is awesome because you have the opportunity to go through multiple tables, but when it's just like the first person to go through a table loses, I don't know. It takes a lot of the fun out of it for me. Personally.
Yeah, I can agree with that. And I feel that a tables match leads to convoluted table setups. We're going to stack 6 tables on top of each other and then get on top of scaffolding and try to put somebody through them. And then oh, wait, sorry, that's New Jack. Never mind.
Sorry, now that you mention it, though, scaffold matches is on my list. Like, even prior to New Jack, like going all the way back to, you know, like, what was it, Mid-South or whoever was doing that shit, Crockett, whoever fucking started it. It was just boring. It's fucking boring because it's not a wrestling match. You can't wrestle. You can't have any actual wrestling go on top of the scaffolding. So it's basically like however many minutes of either like, fake punches, like shitty punches, sometimes weapons, kicks, things like that. And then eventually somebody takes like either like a really stupid looking bump or a really terrifying bump off the scaffold, and it's over. And
especially if New Jack is involved.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Then it's like, don't even bother because somebody's most likely going to end up almost dead. And yeah, it's just like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know. It's just like, who thought of this? Who was this person who's like, oh, remember that time they did that shitty match? We should do that. We should do that too. We should get a scaffold, and because TNA did it. They had like an X scaffold match or whatever they called it.
Well, yeah. Well, no. Because that hung from something. You had to like climb and get that.
No. They had a legit scaffold
match. They
that
also
was like
had
an
the
X.
Destination X match. Or
That's what you're talking about. I didn't know that TNA did.
But it was like a scaffolding, like X. Yeah, they had like a big X-shaped scaffold on top of the fucking. Oh, it was so stupid. But yeah, so like people are still fucking like going to that well every day. I would not be shocked, and I'll go on the record right now. What is it? The 30th of June. 25 minutes or so into the show, I'm going to go ahead and say that AEW is going to do a scaffold match within the next year.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I thought you were going to say WWE, and I'm like, there's no way after Owen Hart.
No, they won't do a scaffold. AEW, though.
Especially since apparently Tony Khan has some love of those old, small, Midwestern promotions that seem to do a lot of scaffolding matches.
Oh, boy.
Cornette's been in the matches and he hates them.
Oh yeah, so I've got a couple more, but
legs.
I got a couple more, but Shane, why don't you throw a couple at us?
Some really, really bad match concepts. I'm gonna take one of Isaac's. Like I don't know, damn fucking fireworks. But anyways, the Inferno match.
Oh god, the Inferno match.
Perfect time for some fireworks.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, the Inferno match it's so dumb. It's so dumb. First of all, it's amazing how the fire on the outside of the ring only goes psh when somebody's close. Like it's not just constantly psh. Second of all, it's dumb.
Or for the bumps.
Yeah, like it's so dumb because the whole point is to set your opponent on fire, which is fine, but then people avoid the ropes at all costs, or they spend most of the match near them, and then it's just a lot of like, I'm pushing you in. No, you're not. Or it's them wrestling in even more confined space without ropes or turnbuckles.
Have you ever seen the Japanese deathmatch Inferno match?
Oh yeah, that shit's awesome.
That shit is terrible. They almost killed all the wrestlers in it. They all ended up with like fucking second-degree burns all over their bodies because they literally soaked all the ropes in gasoline and just set them on fire. So there were 6-foot flames all the way around the ring, and these guys are just in the middle, like trying to lay down, not die.
Oh dear God!
Yep. Japanese death matches, they don't fuck around. That's another one that's just like not my kind of thing.
No. I have a good one for everyone here. I forget if we talked about this after a podcast or on a podcast before, but I have the official name of the match now. And that is a San Francisco 49ers match.
Yes. The San Francisco, the boxes, the fucking boxes. What was that? Was that Booker T and Jarrett?
Yeah.
Where there was a sex doll, an inflatable sex doll in one of the boxes.
A picture of Razor Ramon in one of them.
And
the world title in one.
What was in the other box? It was something so stupid. It was even worse than the other two.
I don't know. My page died that I was reading it off of.
Yeah. Yeah. There was one other thing in the other boxes that was just like
yeah, I can't remember what was in it.
It was like a roast chicken or something stupid like that. It was just dumb. But yeah.
Beetlejuice from the Howard Stern show.
Yeah, he ran out to like save or to like get involved in the match. Oof, rest in peace. Is Beetlejuice dead now? I know Hank is dead.
I have no idea. I don't listen to Howard Stern, so
yeah, that was a truly terrible match in every sense of the word.
Yeah,
honorable mention to Viagra on a pole.
A pole match.
Well, no, that's what I was just gonna say. That's where I was going. Is just any on a pole, any on a pole ever.
Buff Bagwell's mother.
Yeah, dude, she was on a pole once.
Judy Bagwell on a pole.
Yeah, I mean, like Dozer mentioned, the Viagra on a pole match, which was Billy Kidman and somebody, but it was because of he was dating Tori Wilson, and it was really bad. Literally anything that Russo did on a pole,
Russo
and he did.
loved pole.
I mean, even the San Francisco 49ers
Says so
match
much about him.
was shit on a fucking pole. Like, it was
Yep.
a shit on poles, not just one. They're all so bad. You just have
All
to
of it.
climb and pull it down, and then they just spend the whole match like, I'm gonna get it. No, I'm
Well, in
going to
that
get it.
San Francisco 49ers match, they bumped into the corner of the ring and one of the boxes fell
Oh,
down.
yeah.
Yeah. They didn't even have to pull one of them down.
Oh, so
And then-
bad.
And then the first person to grab the title out of the box was the winner. And when Booker T went to grab the box, the title fell out and a ring hand grabbed it and handed it back to him. But so technically that ring hand won the match.
That's just bad.
Yeah. One of my honorable mentions, because it's not really a wrestling match, but they booked it sort of as such, was the monster truck sumo match with Hulk Hogan and Big Show, the son of Andre the Giant. At that point, that was some fucking garbage. Because after that, like Big Show fell off the building, was pushed off the building, and then literally like 45 minutes later was in the main event for some reason without any like explanation, no selling, falling off a building, nothing.
See, there's
it was almost
the people
yeah,
dying.
it was almost like fucking somebody had just watched that when they did the Money in the Bank. Fucking she was like, oh, that's bad. We should do that.
Well, I don't even remember how to win this match. All I remember is WCW as well. Probably like 90.
You had to push the other truck out of the circle.
No. I'm bringing up a different match.
Sorry. I thought we were still talking about Monster Truck Sumo. I was like, oh, it was easy. Yeah. You just had to have a bigger engine.
No, this was like a hardcore title match, and they were in like the junkyard or something.
Oh, the junkyard match.
Yeah, I can't remember anything about it. I just remember thinking this is so dumb because they're all like scrambling.
People got legitimately hurt because it was a real junkyard.
Yeah, and then there's like because Fit Finlay was in it, Screaming Norman Smiley was in it, Ralphus I think was in it.
You couldn't see anything.
Oh, you couldn't see anything at all. How did you win? Do you remember?
I
think you had to escape. You had to escape the junkyard. I think. No, I'm almost positive you had to just get out of the junkyard.
That looks like to be it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was an escape the junkyard and you win.
It was like it was legitimately like the first, like really one of the first super cinematic matches that you couldn't see anything, which WWE has taken.
Well, WCW did a bunch of that shit, dude, because they did the what was it? What do they call it? The one with was it fucking Dustin Rhodes?
Are you talking about like the truck?
The trailer? Yeah.
Oh yeah. And they
trailer.
blades, and then they both blade.
Yeah, they both got fired after it, and it was just terrible because neither of them could actually stand up because they were in a moving goddamn truck, and you couldn't see anything.
I've never watched that match, but I've seen clips from it, and that's enough to go.
Dude, yeah, no, don't waste any fucking time on it. Do not waste a fucking second.
It's not even fun, bad.
No, it's just bad.
The official name of the Junkyard match is the Junkyard Invitational.
Oh, dude, I would send the invitation back. Be like, RSVP, no thank you.
Dozer, who all was in that?
I gotta go to the wiki then. Here we go. Fit Finlay, Cyclope, Jerry Flynn, Rocco Rock, Johnny Grudge, Hack, Horace Hogan, Ryan Knobs,
Hack's fucking Sandman,
Hugh Morris, Laparca, Lord Steve Regal, Silver
Regal.
King, David Taylor, and Mikey Whipwreck.
That is a lot of people.
Man, you want to talk about not knowing what you're doing? You have Fit Finley and William Regal in this match. This was what you could come up with them for do for them to
And
do.
You couldn't
David
just put
Taylor.
those two in a fucking one-on-one and just
Yeah,
have
say
fun.
12 minutes. 12 minutes.
Be like, oh, this guy's British and this guy's Irish, and they fucking hate each other because of it. Look at that. Look at that. I'm fucking baked off my ass. I'm fucking a third of the way into a Four Loko, and I just booked that shit better than they could. And here's fucking kitty. Here's little Nat especially for Aaron. There you go, Aaron. Shout out to a real one.
Oh, don't worry, Phil. Don't worry, Phil.
We're getting there. We're fucking getting there. Trust me on that, bud. That is the top of my fucking list of things I fucking hate.
But
Here,
I have a good one next. Don't worry, because we got to discuss the shit show that was the Kennel from Hell match.
oh no,
Literal
dude.
shit show.
Oh no, dude.
Literal and figurative shit show. Great on paper. Cool idea. But they should have just, like, if you did that and you just did it with snakes, like, shit. Like, that would have been cool because snakes don't have to look fucking fierce and dangerous. They just look like snakes, and they're already scary enough. You know? Fill it with spiders. But goddamn it, dogs? Who doesn't love dogs?
Just dump a fucking lion on the outside, dude. Fuck it.
No, man. Lions are people, too.
Dogs on a leash with a handler are supposed to be the most vicious thing they have in there.
I know. Unleash the hounds. You got fucking Mr. Burns sitting back there.
All they did was shit, and a
couple of them fornicated.
Yep, there was definitely some fucking going on with them dogs too.
Yeah, dude.
Well,
like, cause JR's like, no, it wasn't JR. It was fucking. Was it Vince? Yeah, it was Vince. Yeah. Because Vince was like, they're vicious. They're ready to rip them apart. And then they like cut to the next cam, and these two dogs are just fucking. And then you can just hear Jerry Lawler go, I know what they're doing.
Yeah, you do.
And at that point, you're just like, this is just Hell in a Cell, but with added distraction. Okay.
Yep.
Okay,
I mean,
Shane, never mind. Go on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, even like the build to this match was awful. Where fucking Big Boss Man steals Al Snow's dog Pepper, and then subsequently kills them, and then cooks them, and then feeds them to Al Snow in a hotel room.
Jesus Christ, dude.
It's just like,
Jesus Christ.
you want to talk about somebody that got fucked with some bad situations. Big Boss Man, dude. He got fucking crucified one time. He got straight up hung.
Didn't he? Wasn't he in the gimmick where they fucking, was it Big Show who dragged the coffin, or was it him dragging the coffin?
Oh, hell yeah, no.
Yeah, no, that was him.
That was Big Show's dad, yeah. Yeah, he goes,
Yep.
In the Blues Brothers car, nonetheless.
So bad.
dude, and then there's this shot of Big Show fucking riding on the fucking
The coffin, like, Dad. Oh, so bad. So bad. You know what else, thinking of it, is fucking, was it just a terrible gimmick? Not a match, it was a whole series of matches, was the fucking Brawl for All. I know we just had the fucking Dark Side of the Ring where they talked about that. And so there's so much that's out there now that I'm sure most of you have seen. But good Lord. Good fucking Lord. What a fucking mess of a fucking nightmare that was. I mean, talk about Vince Russo's worst. But it was a Vince Russo gimmick.
Yeah.
And the gimmick was, let's shoot.
No, the gimmick was kill JBL.
Yeah.
Well, in the end, I mean, that was what he wanted to see.
At this point. This was Bradshaw.
Yeah, yeah, that was terrible. But since it's been brought up, my number one fucking the worst gimmick match was the Punjabi Prison for sure, 100% Punjabi prison because. I mean, already like cage matches are like cage matches fine. You have a cage, you have a Hell in a Cell, you have an elimination chamber. Why do you need a bamboo fucking cage that you can't see into? Whether you're on TV or in the arena, like you literally cannot see through. In a gimmick made for literally the worst wrestler on the roster. Like I guess now that I'm saying this out loud. Now that I'm saying this out loud, though, is like it actually makes sense to me that you would put the worst wrestler in the world in a match where you can't actually see him wrestle. So you know what? I actually think that's some fucking brilliant booking now that I really think about it until they started putting them, doing the Jinder Mahal and fucking Randy Orton and other people in Punjabi prison matches that weren't Kali, because I guess in the end, all we really wanted to see was not see Kali. That's what they gave us.
Here's the question. With everything going on in the world right now, is it racist to only have Indian guys in those matches? Or would it be racist if they ever had a match without an Indian guy in it?
They did.
I think it's just racist. The whole thing is racist. The Punjabi prison.
They did like Batista Big Show in one.
They did?
Yeah.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Yes, they definitely have done them without Indian dudes.
Dude, I here, hold on here. Let me look.
I'm almost positive you're right that there's definitely Punjabi prison
ranking
matches.
every Punjabi prison match from worst to best.
Let's see. Worst.
Yeah,
they're all the worst.
There's the Big Show versus the Undertaker.
Why?
Because Undertaker versus Batista. They definitely did not fill out this list, but yeah. I mean, let me tell you something. I actually really love the Punjabi prison match because the last time it happened, both of the Singh brothers almost perished by Randy Orton's hands, which is always kind of fun to watch. And then the Great Khali returned for one night, and it made no sense, but I loved it.
I hate
and then
you so much.
Jinder Mahal extended his championship.
You're the
reign.
Worst co-host in
I
the history of podcasts.
I definitely popped. Yeah, I remember watching that because me and my dad were watching, and I looked at him. I was like, "Dude, the fucking Great Khali's gonna come out." He was like, "No way, not gonna come out." I was like, "He's definitely gonna come out." And like his music hits, and I just like snap over and look at him, and he was like, "Son of a bitch."
Shout out to Wade. What up?
Oh dear God. Shane, what's your worst gimmick match?
Oh, my word. It's gonna be the Punjabi prison. But
you just said you loved it. So fuck out of here.
Oh, dude, it's whatever that fucking WCW thing was where it was like 3 cages stacked on top of each other.
Yes.
The Ready to Rumble match.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That one with Tiny Lister Jr. or whatever. The dude who played Debo.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say about it. Just think about it. It's like 3 cages stacked on top of each other, and you either have to fight your way up or down. I can't remember.
It was like watching a bad wrestling video game. It was so bad because nobody knew what was going on. There was no room to work. There were no ropes anywhere. So
yeah, there was just nothing.
There was nothing.
Yeah.
Absolute mess. Absolute mess.
I don't even know how you let that go past paper.
Yeah. You know what gimmick match I hate too is the fucking death match. The fucking especially the light tubes.
Oh, you're okay. You're talking like indie wrestling death match.
Yes.
We're sorry to disappoint you, Rob, but no, the 3 stack cages is not a pretty okay match.
Yeah, no. Whatever you're smoking, it's not nearly as strong, or it's way more strong than this because you're fucked up, dude. I want some. Send it here, 188 Pope Meadow Drive, Just mail that shit. Pop it in. Send me whatever drugs you're on. And if you got some titty pics, send some of those too.
So for worst match, worst gimmick, I'm going to have to go to the bag of shit that is TNA gimmick matches.
Just all of them?
All of them.
No. I'm pulling one out because even when they take a somewhat decent gimmick match, they fuck it up. And I am talking about the Last Rites match.
Oh, I don't know this. See, I didn't watch enough TNA. What is the Last Rites match?
So only one happened. It was between Sting and Abyss. And
oh gosh.
Long story short, it's a casket match. It's not the worst match type. It ain't a good match type, but it's not the worst. But
those can be done well.
Instead of just having a casket at ringside, they went the extra mile. They decorated the ring with candles. They put fake tombstones everywhere. And they sold blows from the fake tombstones.
I don't know, man. That sounds like something Isaac's into. I can think of a certain promotion that gets super extravagant for their casket matches.
Let's not talk shit about Grave Consequences, okay? Lucha Underground Grave Consequences is fucking dope, and it's not the same, right? Because they're doing it as a Dias del Muerte kind of gimmick, and it's dope, all right? Because it makes sense in the goddamn world they created. Whereas in WCW, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, we're talking TNA.
Sorry, WCW TNA version 2. Yeah.
TNA is what would happen if WCW continued. Especially under Russo's control. It just would have got worse and worse and worse.
Yep.
And eventually they'd keep firing their world champions.
Repeatedly.
Oh, shit.
You don't want to win TNA's world title. You're going to lose your job soon.
No. And I should bring up, because I think I mentioned it before, but the match, and I don't remember what that one was called either, but it was like the fucking death penalty match or whatever, where it was like a steel cage.
Oh.
Where inside a steel cage. It was a steel cage inside a steel cage, and there was an electric chair in there, and you had to put your opponent in the chair and electrocute him to death. And then somehow Mick Foley accidentally electrocuted his tag team partner to death.
Yeah, Abdul the Butcher. I think Kevin Sullivan was on that team too.
And it was just like there was no room to work because it was all taken up by this giant electric chair cage.
Yeah.
And you couldn't see. It was a mess. It was an absolute fucking mess.
So, as we get to good gimmick matches, the thing I want to bring up is any good gimmick match can very quickly become a bad gimmick match if it is done too often.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And Robert wants to tell us, yes, Cactus Jack was in that match. And yeah, he definitely
bang,
was. No. Pow pow. Giddy
pow,
up.
Pow. Slack, baby.
No, we're really not supposed to say him anymore, but hey.
Whatever. It's all that shit is rumors and speculation, and you know what? Giddy up.
The switch fell for the electric chair, and Foley had to act like it didn't.
And not only that, he pushed it back up before pulling it back down. So good.
So good, it's bad.
So good. Oh, man.
Now,
it's been a long time since I've seen that match.
I think,
don't ever watch it.
I think it's time. Shane O'Mac here told us some of the best gimmick matches in wrestling history.
Yeah, I mean, legitimately, I think the Elimination Chamber is one of the best gimmick matches in wrestling history.
If we forget the Extreme.
Yeah. I'm especially talking the first couple, where they did it once every year and a half or something.
Yeah.
And they spaced it. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, the one with RVD, Triple H, Shawn Michaels.
Yes. Holy shit.
Who else was in that? RVD, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Kane.
I would have to look it up.
I don't know,
but yeah, I know that one is a great match.
Yeah, but I mean, and especially other than the Extreme, the way they've been able to innovate that match too. Like I remember the first time they did the tag team elimination chamber match, and I thought it was gonna be god awful and horrible,
It's actually
and that
pretty
was
fucking
fucking
good.
good. Yeah, I mean, I think the match itself is cool. It's not that hard to see. I think the pod thing is cool because they always interact with the pods and just don't forget that they're there. Sometimes you'll have somebody who like stuffs it so that way they can't get out and they'll be, they'll hide or whatever. You've got the, especially in the early days, the boards now are okay, but in the early days you had that fucking chain link ground that just made the most horrible sounds you've ever heard.
Yep.
And you got to see Chris Jericho get speared by Goldberg through the pod that one time, and it looked horrible.
My biggest issue nowadays with the Elimination Chamber is they just overexpose it. You have 2 or 3 in the pay-per-view. You'll be like, oh, we got the tag team one, we got the women's, and now we got the men's, and it's just like, give me fucking one. Give me a women's, give me a tag team, give me a men's. Like, give me just one fucking Elimination Chamber match. That's it. Otherwise, you're getting into lockdown territory.
I think that's a problem with WWE gimmick matched pay-per-views in general right now, is the feeling of the need. And I am all for equality, and women's wrestling has improved a hell of a lot. It's great now.
Yeah, it's the best shit on the main roster these days.
We don't need 2 of every gimmick match in every gimmick pay-per-view. It's too much gimmick.
I wish that they would stop doing named gimmick pay-per-views as a whole, just so that way you didn't know when shit was coming. Because now, I mean,
I will allow one.
What? Royal Rumble. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but that's
only
that's
but goddamn it, I don't want to see 2 Royal Rumbles every year. To have women in it.
I mean, like what I'm, but as far as my point is, like, it used to be cool whenever you would see like a Hell in a Cell because it warranted the feud. Now they have to build fucking feuds up to Hell in a Cell rather than develop them naturally.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and that's one of my favorite match types going in. So Hell in a Cell is one of my favorite match types, especially going back to like Shawn Michaels Undertaker, like when it was just like mostly the Undertaker or Mankind's gimmick was to do it. And they had so many good ones until it turned into the pay-per-view. And then it was just like, how can we do a fucking crazy stunt off the top of the cage, blah, blah, blah. And it was just sort of formulaic. But the early days of Hell in a Cell, Jesus Christ, so good. So fucking good.
I mean, they've still managed to have some pretty fucking good Hell in a Cell matches. Like in recent years, but that's also just product of who's in the match.
Not including the Bray Wyatt Seth Rollins one. That was fucking one of the worst matches I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, you want to talk about confused. Okay.
Dude, dog shit.
No. That's not even... No, let's not talk about that one. So, I want to talk about one of my favorite matches, and I can't believe I'm going to the bag of shit that is TNA gimmick matches and pulling one out.
Wow.
Monsters Ball.
No.
Damn it.
I like the Feast or Fired match.
That's like the briefcase game show match.
That's the Money in the Bank type match where they're 5 or 6 or however many titles they have plus 1 briefcase. And every briefcase is a title match. Like the Money in the Bank briefcase. So you can win the world, you can win the tag, you can win this. And then one is fired. And done well, this gimmick match can have huge storyline implications. Be good. You could have a singles guy win a tag team match and be the start of a great tag team. You could have somebody who's off on a hot run and just start out and get fired in the middle of it. And then you could have a Mr. America thing or something even better than Mr. America because Mr. America fucking sucked.
I was gonna say, let's hope for something better than Mr. America.
Yes, I know. That was just the first one that came to my head. You know, you could kick off an Aces and Eights style storyline with it, with the guys in the hoods and Matt. Well, not hoods, bandanas. Hoods would be completely fucking different, and let's not talk about that shit right here.
But now you could do face masks, man.
Yeah. So I really like that match. I like the widespread story implications it could have, and it's one that is set up that it can easily be a once-a-year recurring pay-per-view that won't get burned out. And hell, you could even mix it up. You can have women's in that match.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be really interesting. I mean, especially with how they, I'm not allowed to talk about her, but especially with how they treated Tessa Blanchard, obviously prior to firing her for racist comments that she made. But yeah, I mean, like Dozer just said, I mean, you could plop any woman in that match and really kind of cross them over into that Tessa Blanchard area. You wanted.
It could be cool. And I just want to address my friend Furin down here. Yes, this is one of 2 podcasts. I'm about to start up a Disney podcast as well. Check it out when it comes out. The Diz Idiots will be coming soon to a podcast near you. Sorry, shameless plug.
Yeah, plug that shit away because it's the same. We have the almost exact same fan base.
Cheap pop.
Woo!
But no, you can definitely elevate. You can elevate a female to Tessa Blanchard's status, or you could have a hilarious Santina type thing come up. And yes, Santina they pushed Santina too far. It could have been good.
Got Santina. Yeah, that was embarrassing. In almost every, I mean, especially for the women in that first, that was it a battle royale that they did where he was like Miss WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Oh god, that was so bad.
Yeah, and then the next, actually, I just watched this last night. Yeah, and then there was this really weird segment with the Great Khali, and then he calls out Santina. I think it was at like Backlash because it was like the next pay-per-view. And then like Beth Phoenix comes out and she's like, "I'm tired of your shit, Santina." And then he's like, "Ooh, come face me." And then he just like beats the shit out of Beth Phoenix in like 38 seconds. On a pay-per-view.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
And on that terrible bombshell, Isaac, why don't you tell us about a good gimmick match?
I got two left on my list here. I love a good ladder match. I fucking love a good ladder match. Especially in like the TLC too, like when those were done right, especially those like first couple TLC matches with Edge, Christian, Hardys, and Dudleys, like Jesus Christ, were those incredible.
Nobody talks about the forgotten one, the one on that Monday Night Raw where Jericho and Benoit were a team. That match was fucking incredible too.
Yeah, but it has the word Benoit in it, so it didn't happen.
Yeah, no, there was some really incredible ladder and TLC matches. I mean, the first Razor Ramon, fucking Shawn Michaels was great. But then you go into
a ladder.
Yeah, but then you even go into fucking Lucha Underground, and they have some incredible ladder matches. I mean, Jesus Christ, they had the one where the guys climbing up the ladder and frickin' Angelico dives off the roof of an office across, like, it's incredible. It just drop kicks the dude off the ladder. I mean,
he's every bit of like 15 feet up.
I mean, you have to go fucking watch the fucking clip. It's like, just watch holy shit moments from Lucha Underground and you'll see what I'm talking about. You can't even like begin to comprehend the fucking jump this guy fucking makes to do this goddamn drop kick, because it's incredible. It's fucking incredible. But yeah, you can still have like great ladder matches these days. And a good ladder match is exciting, even though it's goofy as hell watching fucking grown men who can drop kick people and do fucking backflips and shooting star presses struggle with every ounce of their fucking fiber to climb a goddamn ladder.
I need to ask this question. So we have from the comments here, because we have live viewers, we have Robert talking about, have we ever seen the old Jake the Snake ladder match from like 79? It's
No.
terrible. The ladder is only one-sided and it's leaned against the wall. No. Tell us what promotion this is in. We will
I'll
look it
have
up
to
and
find that.
Yeah, I'd love to watch
Fucking
that.
We'd
Jake
love to watch
ladder
some
match.
bad wrestling.
I'm writing that down.
Man, motherfuckers with the damn firework.
And just going back to an old comment here, Phil wants to see a shameless plug on a pole match.
We could do that. Absolutely. We'll shamelessly plug our Fuck Kevin Dunn t-shirts, which you can get if you click on the link in the description of the fucking podcast below us. Or above us, or to the left or right, wherever it's at.
I didn't fucking put it on here. I didn't put it on the description for this, but it'll be on the description of the re-upload. And
see, there we go.
Robert tells us it was on the ladder match DVD, so that means it's probably on the network somewhere.
Somewhere we can find it,
which is good. We all have the network,
which is good.
As long as I don't, thank God it's newer, and I don't have to subscribe to Impact Plus yet. That just
Impact Plus. Oh God, yeah, no way, dude. I'm not doing that.
No.
Yeah, no, dude. I'd rather nair my balls, fucking wax my asshole than that.
And on that disgusting thought, Shane, you got a good match for us.
Well, my asshole's beautiful. You have no idea.
Man.
Okay, that's a lie. With all the hemorrhoids, it looks like a 1930s catcher's mitt.
Oh, dude, I gotta start talking.
Yes. Yeah, before I start showing the viewers at home.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the easiest one. I'm probably gonna take Dozers, but the Royal Rumble.
Yes.
Hey, I love the Royal Rumble, but you can have it.
Royal Rumble is my number one too. It absolutely is.
I mean,
it's incredible.
I mean, the way they build it, the way that they've built it for a long time, and the fact that they've kept it mostly the same, other than the one time they did the 40, and they might have played
like the 50.
Yeah, the one.
And then they had the hardcore. They had a hardcore battle royal.
Yeah, but
but even then, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they might have played with, the timing in between entrance, once or twice, whatever. But it stayed the same, and they've built up so much prestige for this fucking match. Everyone, the WWE season starts at the Royal Rumble and ends at WrestleMania.
That is, for the longest time, that is the only period I'd subscribe to the network.
And
it's the only one worth watching.
And quit the Raw after WrestleMania.
Although in the last few years, I gotta say, it has gone downhill in quality. When they, I guess the first one that they really screwed up was the one with Daniel Bryan, where Daniel Bryan should have won.
The one without Daniel Bryan.
Well, he
wasn't even in it, dude.
But but they had him in the next one, and they didn't have him win too. So that was, you're right. The first one he wasn't in it. Rey Mysterio came out and he got booed.
Yeah. That was the first one was Rey Mysterio at 30 surprise return got booed. That was the night that he wrestled. He had wrestled Bray Wyatt in that opening match. That was fucking incredible.
Yep, great match.
And then, and the crowd just completely turned on the match, dude. They turned on fucking The Rock. Was that one, or was that the next one?
I think that was the next.
Maybe the next one.
But yeah, I mean, but after that, there was it was just horrible booking for the greatest, and it was just purposeful horrible booking. There was no way that they didn't know that having Big Show and Kane go out and eliminate guys like Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns and shit or whatever was going to piss people off.
No, they had no idea. Well, I want to take this for a second, excuse me, Shane, and spin off with just a quick side note of what was everybody has a famous favorite pop from a Royal Rumble. What was your favorite pop from a Rumble? Isaac?
My favorite pop from a Royal Rumble. I mean, when AJ Styles. I'm not an AJ Styles fan, but him coming back was pretty incredible.
Despite the terrible cuts, that was awesome.
I mean, not coming back, debuting.
Debuting. That was pretty incredible. But favorite, I mean, was maybe not favorite pop, but my favorite moment would be Vince tearing both his quads. Like legit, I fucking love that. I love that because like something about seeing him sit there at the ring and just like the dude has 2 torn quads and he's just sitting there like, and you're like, yo, this dude is tough as hell. You don't know it at the time, but it looks so stupid. But like even the botched ending, like the whole thing was just so ridiculous that like that cracked me up. But yeah, I'd say freaking AJ's debut is pretty impactful.
Yeah. Shane?
Isaac, have you ever seen Edge talk about that?
No.
Oh, look it up on YouTube maybe. I always see it on Facebook. I'm sure it's on YouTube. He was the guy that was eliminated right before, so he saw a lot of it firsthand. It's so fucking funny.
I'll have to check that out for sure.
But speaking of Edge from last year's Royal Rumble, I mean,
that was fucking awesome.
I mean, anybody who knows me knows that like Edge is my favorite wrestler of all time. I just love Edge. But I mean, beyond just me being stoked, and Aaron ruining him returning.
What a bitch.
I mean, but yeah, I mean, just like going and watching it myself, and then just seeing it happening and him coming out and the crowd reacting the way they did, because again, I don't think anybody really saw Edge coming back at all. I mean, there was always like that speculation, there was that rumor, but it was never attainable because he sold not coming back so well.
Yeah. Yep. And they did an amazing job of getting that pop when all the dirt sheets were saying he was going to be there.
Yep.
Like every dirt sheet said he was coming back, and you still pop like all hell when.
Well, because I mean, dude, Edge had been rumored to return for like 2 years. You know what I mean? It was always Edge returning in 6 months, Edge returning at pay-per-view, nothing. So the dirt sheets became uncredible as far as that went.
You know, I just thought of something too. You know, it was really good for Royal Rumble and was like another great moment was when Mick Foley entered 3 times in one match. As Cactus Jack, as Mankind, and as Dude Love. That was fucking awesome.
I am so glad you took away my honorable mention so I can just talk about my favorite one.
That was great.
Yeah. And it's all about the experience here because the dirt sheets didn't call it at the time. And I wasn't deep in the dirt sheets. I wasn't in the forums, but I was reading Garrick.net. I thought I was a little smart. Ooh. And that was Cena's 30th entrance at the 2008 Rumble.
Oh, dude, I would have shit my pants if I would have been there.
They blew the fucking lid off that place. Was that at Madison Square Garden?
That was at the Garden.
Yeah.
That was nuts. I remember I was at Starters, which was a shitty-ass bar in Bethlehem, PA. Those that know about it know it closed because of a goddamn abortion in a toilet. Yep.
Say what?
It's a shitty-ass bar.
All right. So another sponsor for the show, by the way.
No, they have since closed, unsurprisingly. But I remember being there, and we're all there. We're having fun. We have a table of 20, and we're all drinking. We're laughing. I'm eating kryptonite wings, sweating my ass off, and all of a sudden you hear the brrrr. Holy shit! Nobody expected him to come back, and he actually had a decent amount of love back then.
Yeah, he was over as hell, man, and people were so excited to see it back.
I mean, in the way everyone sold that. I mean, I'm talking King, I'm talking JR, I'm talking everyone in the ring. Like they drew this like cut to Triple H standing there, and Triple H is like
shocked.
Yeah.
Yes. So good. So good. Perfectly
And-
done. Probably one of the best returns that's ever been done.
And I think we all have to give an honorable mention to a Roddy Piper looking at Snooker going, "Oh, you fucker!"
Yeah.
I fucking love Piper,
Which
man. Piper is.
I think was the same Rumble.
Might have been.
I
Was
think
it?
that was 08 at the Garden. I
Yeah.
remember that short ramp.
Sounds about right.
That
That
makes
short
sense for the
ramp.
Garden too.
Piper, man. Best heel of all time.
Absolutely. Okay. Do we have any closing thoughts on this wonderful shit show of a podcast we've had?
Closing thoughts. Well,
Wow.
I'd like to take a moment and discuss a situation that has been brewing within our community. No, I have fucking nothing important to say. Are you kidding me? Do you know me? No, man. I'm what do we have for podcast or for wrestling coming up? What's next on the old wrestling agenda?
Well,
Good
next on the wrestling agenda is we have 2 pay-per-views, but not, but yes.
Are we
We
gonna?
have-
Oh boy.
We have
shit.
NXT, the Great American Bash with limited commercial interruptions.
That I will watch. That I will definitely watch.
Spread over 2 weeks. And then spread over 2 weeks, we have AEW Fighter Fest. So
I'm not looking forward to.
AEW Night 1, it's got Jericho on commentary, Isaac. You be aight.
I am proposing something unique, something different. And I'm proposing it to these guys live. And that is Isaac will watch the Great American Bash. Shane will watch Fighter Fest. And they will have to convince each other why their pay-per-view was better.
So do I not watch the Great American Bash?
You do not watch you can watch it, but just know you got to defend Fighter Fest.
Oh, fucking what? I have to try to defend against Adam Cole versus Keith Lee, and fucking John Moxley has COVID wife. He's not even gonna be there. My champion's not even gonna be there. This shit is fucking rigged.
It ain't rigged. It's live. It's uncut. It's what's going on right now in the wrestling world.
Worst case scenario, we can do a head-to-head. We can do a head-to-head. Both of us will watch. Well, here we can do this. We can watch the pay-per-views, and we can do head-to-head ratings. We'll do first match versus match, second match versus second match, all the way through the pay-per-view. At the end, star ratings, which one was better?
What if they don't have the same amount of matches?
Is it going to be NXT? Well, then the extra matches will rate on their own and tell them to go fuck themselves for being shitty.
We will do the ratings live, but we will not judge winners. The overall winner until the end of night 2, which will be in 2.5 weeks or whenever the fuck it is, because this is a weird ass thing because they're pay-per-views, but they're on free TV, but
then they're split up.
This is as close to a wrestling war as we're getting, and we're going to book our show like it's a war.
A wrestle war.
No. Let's not go there. We're taking a break from shitty wrestling and going to shitty modern wrestling for a little bit.
Dude, I'm gonna straight up guarantee you NXT is gonna be good. Night one of AEW is gonna be totally fine because Jericho's doing commentary, so it's gonna be entertaining regardless.
It will at least be entertaining. NXT is gonna win. We all know it.
Yes. So join us live next Tuesday to find out, or join us on the replay Wednesday at noon. And until next time, we are such good shit. Such good shoot.
Such good. We are such good shit, though.
What's our name?
Such good shoot. And remember to like, subscribe, ring that goddamn bell icon like you just won the match.
Send me drugs.
Email your titty pics to sgspodcast605@gmail.com or your questions. Join us live in the comments down below. And until next time, I'm Dozer. He's Isaac.
Yo.
He's Shane. We'll see you next time.